So this is a Vocal Sweet Spot. My name is Patty Greene. I am the moderator. Buddy Weaver is panelist. We are at the 2015 CALLERLAB convention in Springfield, Missouri. And in this session, we're going to talk about how to get a piece of music so that it's right in your sweet spot so you can sing it. Obviously, I come from a female perspective, and we did this last year, and it was very helpful. You know, as a female, there's a lot of music that I have to pitch up or down in order to make it accessible to me, because in reality, you know, you don't want to go to a square dance and hear somebody singing a soprano operatic church all night. And as women, we need to be careful that we're not always up there. And by the same token, you don't want to come to a female caller and hear them singing down in the gutter for the whole night. You know, but the same holds true with guys. You know, that bothers me if I go to a dance and the caller, everything is way down here. It just gets exhausting because it doesn't have to be that way. And I think that women kind of intuitively understand that we may need to pitch up or down. But guys, we were talking about that at the WIC committee yesterday. Guys, you guys just drop the needle or hit the thing and you just go, because most of the music is pretty reachable for a typical male voice. But guys can do the same thing too, adjust up or down so that the music you're singing will sound a lot better when you deliver the song, and it might feel comfortable. And I think that the male mind, you know, you guys just don't think of it because a lot of the music is recorded by men. You know, we're a minority, and you just, when there were records, you know, that's all we could do too, is you drop the record and you go. But now there's a lot of things that you can do to adjust that. So I'm going to ask Buddy to go first, and then I'll go, and then we've picked a song or two, probably a song that will show you from a male and female perspective how we get to where we get to be able to sing it. Buddy, the Buddy Weaver.
Thank you. I'm going to approach vocals and the vocal sweet spot in the same way that I would approach most everything I do with music, from a strict standpoint of variety. Variety. I don't sing every single song. I don't hit every patter call in the same vocal tone. If I did, as Patty says, it becomes monotonous. You know, the single tone is monotone. If you are going to hit everything full throttle on every single number, you're going to get tired. And people get tired of listening to that as well. Likewise, if you're low-key on every one. So what I do is I approach it from a couple of different standpoints. Number one, I approach it, I mean, we're going to kind of limit this to singing calls, but rhythmically. What kind of rhythm am I dealing with? Be it and I'm going to limit this discussion to shuffle rhythm versus boom chuck. Shuffle, 4/4, boom chuck, 2/4. Sometimes you got a 4/4 bottom with a 2/4 top, but each one has its own particular vocal style. And a lot of your boom chucky music, the older pieces, tend to be a little bit more vibrant, maybe a little livelier in your vocal delivery. And a lot of the shuffle rhythms tend to be more melodic or for a march rhythm. A typical 4/4 rhythm for all of you callers out there would be summer sounds. Summer sounds. You don't hit summer sounds. Well, here comes summer sounds. The summer sounds I love. It's, well, here comes summer sounds. The summer sounds I love. And it's boom, 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 boom. There is no place for you when you are walking to it. This is your step. You are walking a slow walk. Nothing in this rhythm tells you to pick your foot up. What's your foot doing? Down. Down, down, down. Speed that up. Just right where it is. Just hit R for race. Many more times. Can you still step to that? More, faster. When you take a shuffle rhythm and you play it too fast, people can't do this. So here's what they do. They walk. They take a step on every other beat. Nice. I like the move there. Kill it. That being said, that's the first step I'm going to look for, because that's going to set the tone of my voice. That's going to set the excitement level. That's going to say whether I'm going to be crooning the song or I'm going to be pushing the song a little bit harder. We get on to orchestration of the song. Some of this information may seem repetitive from a session I did earlier in hoedowns, but it marries itself better to singing call. Orchestration is going to be the way that piece of music is put together, how it's composed, what instruments are used to play it, and the feel it gives the dancers. The feel it gives the dancers should be the feel it gives the caller, because if I don't respond well to the music, then how can I expect the dancers to respond well to it? This is in two different forms of music style, orchestration style. This is what I consider to be a contemporary style piece of music. This is also a 4/4 shuffle rhythm. It's a crooning song. You'd agree? Got the harmonies in there. There, take the harmony shot. It's a contemporary feel. It's a shuffle rhythm. It's a crooning song. My vocal sweet spot for that is going to be more on the, shall we say, sweeter side. So if I were to approach a song, I'm not going to come in here full throttle. It won't be a four ladies promenade. It's going to be soft on my approach. Circle left. Oh, it's a beautiful night. We're looking for something young to do. Hey, baby, I think I want to marry you. Now, that would sound ridiculous.
Okay.
It would sound ridiculous if I came in full throttle with that particular song. But by contrast, if it were a country piece, and this is country, this is a contemporary country driven at a 2/4 rhythm. My vocal sweet spot is not going to be crooning. I'm not going to be down here. Oh, baby, I want to marry you. No, it's driving. The rhythm is hotter. The feel is hotter. Circle that way back in the country, back in the hills, down where the holler, where the folks are real. It's a more of a full throttle vocal approach. We're going to get into how we change those feels, but it's important to know what kind of sound you're going to be putting out first, the intent. Speak with intention rather than speaking for attention, so that when you're approaching the calling, you know what kind of feel you want to put forward with the folks. We can go in a little bit further into this type of thing, into different types of orchestration. Traditional square dance music. It has a traditional boom-chucky feel to it. It has what I would consider to be a neutral vocal tendency. You can drive it hard, you can croon at it, or you can just sing it. Let the music carry it. The name of the tune is Come to Me. All right. Sing along now. Love will light your way out of the darkness if you ever. Beautifully sung. I'd like to record each and every one of you. I'll offer each of you a contract for recording on Blue Star. Once I have that in mind for my orchestration, that sets the feel. The next thing I do is I set tempo. When you are operating, we're talking about everything being done on a digital platform nowadays. So we don't have a record up here. We don't even have a record player. Back in the old days, we were limited to putting a record on and turning the speed up or down to control it. And that, in turn, would control the pitch of the music. The pitch of the music takes it from something sharp to something stronger. What I do on this, and you'll find the different hotkeys are available on your keyboard. Does everybody here understand what the hotkey is? It's that one single key that will either move it up a pitch or down a little bit in pitch, or speed it up or slow it down. So in this particular song, you can speed it up. This is how it was originally recorded. this tempo. That's about 130 to 132 beats per minute. That's how fast we expect the people to move. It's a bit fast. It's a bit fast for today's tempos. I prefer something closer to about 128 to maybe 126 on this. And now, when I do bring my speed down, and that's the first thing I do, is I set the speed. Because this is not about how good I sound. This is about how comfortable it is for the dancers. I'm not a singer. Make no mistake, I am not a singer. I am here just to help the dancers have a good time. They'll have a good time as long as I don't get in their way. And how I do this is set the music for them so that the music is at a tempo which they'll find comfortable. This is a bit fast, but you want it to be a little bit faster for the excitement. It's not so fast. Step, 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 step. It feels comfortable. When I bring it down from its original position, and I'm going to do so right now, I use the key that slows it down while also changing its pitch so that, as played in this position, high, original, this is fast. Back in the country, back in the hills, down where the holler, and it's a little high for me. Bring it down. Slow it down. Slowing it down, brought the key down. Dancers are able to move to it a little bit easier. So now I'm also able to find a sweet spot that's comfortable for me. So the first thing, set the speed while using I use the E hotkey on my keyboard because it slows it down while changing the tempo at the same time. Once the pitch, so once the tempo is set to where it's comfortable, then I'll get on to something like pitch. But first things first is tempo. First things first is bringing that speed down to where it needs to be. Do you want to jump in? Shall I continue?
I will say that I tend to do it the opposite. I tend to adjust because I'm a woman, and I do things difficult probably.
You do it opposite of me. I can understand that.
So I tend to adjust the pitch because once I have the pitch set, say that 10,000 times. But if I set my pitch, for me, I want to know that the song is keyed correctly, and then I can adjust the tempo depending on who I have in front of me. Because, I have some dancers that dance really slow and some that dance really, quicker. So for me, I want to know if I hit that piece of music, I can adjust the tempo easily. It's not quite as easily to adjust the pitch on the fly because you got to kind of retune your ear. So that's just what I do.
Well, that's why I asked you, because I knew you did it differently. I could tell by the look in your eyes you did it differently from me. But and that's a good approach, and this is why we're going to kind of bounce off each other a bit, because everybody will have their own approach to it. Once the tempo is set, and once I know what kind of sound I'm going to come out with, then I need to find the melodic note. There's a difference between a melodic note and a harmonic note. A harmonic note is what you typically hit when you're calling patter. So let's see if I've got this queued up here. Yeah, I do. Yay. So this is going to be, if I were to use this piece of music as a hoedown, I'm going to find that melodic note. We're not going to get into melodic notes because we talked about that in the hoedown session, but it'll come out like, walk her da da dee da da da, walk around your corner, girl da dee da, bouncing up and down on these harmonic notes right around the root notes, up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, this is a singing call. That's a singing call that we just did. And if I were using it as a singing call, then I would go on to the melodic note. And that's where we're going to start talking about finding that vocal sweet spot. Walk around your corner, lady, seesaw your own. Join your hand and circle, left round you roam. And now the men start around and it feels so right. Left out a man, weave around the ring. I'll be your light, your match, your burning sun. I'll be your bright and black that's making you run. I'll be doing this if you ever doubt till the love runs out. That's the melodic note. Once I find that melodic note, It has to feel in a comfortable position for me. If the melodic note is up here and I have to reach for it, that's not going to sound good. Because the more I have to reach, the less pleasing it is to the dancer's ears. And if I'm going to be reaching for the next 3.5 minutes on that song, that's 3.5 minutes the dancers have got to be doing.
It just doesn't sound good.
That's right. They'll make faces at you. Likewise, if the melodic note is too far down, I find that if I have to sing that far down into the basement, it really strains my voice, and I find myself getting hoarse. I'll find myself getting hoarse more if I'm singing in a range below my comfort zone than if I'm above my comfort zone. If I have to reach a little bit, I can keep my voice more through the entire evening. If I have to sing down in the basement, I will lose my voice quicker. That's just my own personal experience. Once I can find that melodic note, and once I've got the tempo set, we were playing with this song just a minute ago, and this is a good example. Well, let me do this one first. This is a song that it's from the TV. You want to tell them about the TV show, the HBO show? Oh, please. Well, I'm finding this song entertaining, won't you?
Oh, no. Suffice to say we were very entertained, but
it's
under B?
It's under
B.
Yeah, it's under 4.
Oh, it's under
4.
Okay, now here's another way we differ. I would look under B for the title of the song. He looks for 4.
Good point. And at the risk of getting off on the tangent, how you all file your music on your computers. I file my music by rhythm. 2 for 2/4, boom chuck, and 4 for shuffle rhythm. Because I program my dances not by what song I'm doing that particular tip, but by what rhythm I'm doing that tip. So my first tip is going to be a shuffle rhythm and a shuffle rhythm. And my second tip is going to be a 2/4 and a 2/4. And that's what I go for. So I can quickly go on to here and I can see what it is. And I subset it as a 4C for contemporary, or 4W for
Western?
Western. Yeah, that's right. Really? This is 4C. This is contemporary. This song, the first time I heard it, it's got a very high note and has a very low note. The very high note doesn't trouble me. The very low note troubles me. And I still have a bit of a problem with it. I'll try to sing my way through this. Well, I don't know who you think you are, but before the night is through, I want to do bad things with you. She's blushing. Now, that note is really low for me, and I've pitched that up just a bit because I can't get that far down. Now, Mike Sikorsky can. Mike Sikorsky sings it in a post-pubescent voice, and when he sings it, it makes the woofers.
Put it to the original.
Okay.
And show them how you got to go up rather than down to figure out where your key was.
Let me figure out how to bring that down. D for Bauer. Okay. This is the original coming up now. Sorry, it's got a long lead in here. You hear the difference? I hadn't changed the tempo at all, but the key, the pitch, has been changed. Can you sing this? Is this low enough for you? Yeah. Well, I don't know who you think you are, but before the night is through, I want to do bad things with. I'm not even trying.
That's way low, way low.
It's way down.
Way low.
And I could hurt myself singing that song.
That song is also interesting because it has a way low note and a way high note. So you need to figure out what the bottomest place you can go and not sound horrible, but be able to reach the high note effectively, unless you just don't sing the bottom notes and you just kind of talk them, which is also possible.
All right. So first things first, I've set the stage. It's a shuffle rhythm. It's going to be more of a crooning song. Got that set. Second thing, I set the tempo. It's at 124, 125-ish. Right off the bat, I know it's too low for me, so I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to hit the key marked F on the hotkeys. F will bring it up just a little bit of a pitch. It's not really a semitone. It's more of a Scott, would you say it's like it's a half a semitone, isn't it? So yeah, which would be like a quarter of an octave, roughly. But it's not an accurate reading. It's not a true because the software here is very it's not high-end software. It's not going to give you a true pitch if you're truly musically inclined. So once I bring this up that little bit of a pitch, all right. Let me rewind this just a bit. So let me bring this back just a bit. Sorry, this is where it is normally. Tempo I like, feel I like. Too low. Bring it up. One keystroke. I wanna do bad things with you. Now, if I'm still uncomfortable hitting that particular key, that particular note, then we will fake the note. We'll fake the note. Know who you think you are, but before the night is through, I want to do bad things with you. That was the harmonic. I went to the harmonic note, like as if I were calling hash to it. I got off the melody. The melody is driving me down. And so rather than do bad things with you, I want to do bad things with you. And now I'm in a comfortable place. So if I start out the song, I probably will hit that low gravelly note so Patty can swoon over it. We'll hit it a couple of times, and then kind of let it, and then after that I'll come back and fake it. There's some wonderful instrumentation too in all of our music that you need to take advantage of, because that's the other thing about finding that vocal sweet spot. The beauty of being a great vocalist is knowing when not to sing. Knowing when not to sing. And we were talking about this just a little bit ago, and we were showing how you can take certain notes. Did you want to go into that that other song we were practicing earlier? Okay, would you mind? And then you can come back to it, and that'll wrap me up. So Patty and I have this one particular song that it happens to be on my label, and she pitches it in one way.
I'm going to play it the... So it's Beautiful Noise.
Beautiful Sunday.
Beautiful Sunday.
On
Blue Star 2553.
You're a good girl.
I want to do bad things.
You're working with me. That's a start.
So this is the recorded key. Hey, which for me, I can sing it higher level. It's a beautiful day. But if I sing it up, one waiting for me. When I see her, it's gonna be, hey, 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 it's a beautiful day. And I can sing it up there, but I'm not gonna, it's just not, it's okay. But, so for me, I pitch it down 3. Hold on. So it's down, because I want to sing it up. I don't want to sing this song down an octave. Sunday morning, up with a lark. So this is more comfortable for me. A walk in the park. Hey, 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 it's a beautiful day. And I can hit that bottom one, but it doesn't feel like I'm really screeching for it. I could probably go up 3. You're
ruining good music, you know that.
waiting for me. When I see her, it's gonna be, hey, 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 it's a beautiful day. But for me, that's way gravelly.
It's an octave lower than where we would normally be singing it, because
Right.
you would be singing it much higher.
Correct.
Now, Patty and I are working together, so we're going to do Beautiful Sunday. I'm going to say, Patty, you know, I'm a gentleman. My mom raised me to be a gentleman. You set it for how you like it. Go ahead. You set it for your 3 blocks down. So go ahead. Now, for me, this is pretty low. And as we talked about earlier, if I sing in the basement a lot, Sunday morning up with a lark, I think I'll take a walk in the park. It's pretty low for me. Now, I could sing the harmonic note to it, but I might just soften the note and just chop it. Sing along.
I got someone waiting for me. When I see her, I know that she'll say, hey, 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 it's a beautiful day.
I soften my voice, because if I come in that hey, 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 it's hey, what you talking about? Better for me to soften it and shorten the note, cut the note just a bit. You have Somewhere Wonderful on there?
Who?
Somewhere Wonderful? I have it here if you don't. It's under 4C.
Nope. Some kind of trouble, somebody like you, something's got a hold of me, somewhere over the rainbow.
Oh, wait, that's a boom check. It's 2-4. Sorry. Talk amongst yourself for a second.
What you looking for?
I'll know it when I see it. Yay, okay. So, kind of wrap up what I'm going to do here. We talked about vocal tone just a bit, and I worked this particular song I'm going to play for you is one that I've heard a lot of callers come in very full throat, full throttle, and there are certain songs that I choose because you don't come in full throttle. And this is a good example of a song that should be sung very quietly, very softly. Now, by softening it, I'm able to lower the pitch just a bit for myself without having to do much adjustment on this here, on the computer here. Just let it play through. It's set at about 126 beats per minute, just 127. And soften your voice. Circle left, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. I don't sing high naturally, but I have learned to sing high. You have to sing soft. When you sing, you have a choice. You can either be good or loud. You can't be both. So that being said, I'll soften my voice, lower my volume, and I can sing a much higher range. Oh, the hedge you promenade and go halfway around the ring, and now you square through. Forehand around the ring, and then a right and left through. Veer left, Ferris wheel you do. Square through, 3-hand around, swing your corner and promenade. And those dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Now, you sing it that way. You sing it that way. Your dancers are going to do this. You'll see their shoulders drop. You're going to see them straighten up. You're going to see their face relax, especially if you've been hitting them with all this driving music. You see them relax. And you know what's going to happen next? They're going to start moving their lips in time with what you're singing. And the people will enjoy it. They're not going to know why, but you'll know, because you just figured out that the key to success in this business is variety. We can vary the music, but if you don't vary your vocals, you haven't done anything. You've only just changed the banging of the trash can in behind you. You've got to change the way you approach your vocal to the music. And on that note, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Mrs. Greene.
So, how many of you adjust the key of a song deliberately? Well, no, because, and No. When you work up a song and you're working on a song, and by the time the song is ready for prime time, how many of you will deliberately work with the key as opposed to just working on a song with whatever it's recorded in? How many would deliberately change the key? And how many work with the song exactly as it is, you just do tempo? Well, hello, you can record things in your key, so... I know, I'm just kidding. So, for me, if I get a piece of music that I really like that just really speaks to me that I want to do, I do a lot of shuffling up or down. And I go about anywhere. I don't like to go 2 clicks. I call them clicks up or down, because once you get 2 clicks, the music just starts to sound a little strange to me. And I want to keep the flavor of the song. For me, that's very important, that the song is true to the original song or is a really good arrangement of the song. So, and I can sing pretty low. I mean, over the years, my voice has kind of dropped, and I can be a bass just as good as the next bass. But it's all about that bass. But some bass is not good on women, just like some, treble is not good on men. You have a good, higher, falsetto-y voice. You do. No, you do. So you can carry off some of the music that you did. There are a lot of guys that wouldn't be able to carry it off because they would think it was too high and they would think it was reaching. It's really important as you're programming to, not, like Buddy said, you got to make sure that your music isn't all right here. Boom chuck, shuffle, swing, contemporary, country, notwithstanding the actual number of notes that you sing, unless you're not a good singer. I've had a lot of people ask me, men and women, I can't sing. How am I supposed to do a singing call? To that, I will say, look for songs where the melody line, the lowest note and the highest note, stays within a prescribed range for things that you can hear. Now, within that prescribed range, you can go up or down, you can shift it, but you never have to go very far with the melody line, and I know that works for some people. So for me, the newest one I just started doing is on Riverboat, Just Seen a Face. And the original, this is the original key. It's kind of happy, but it's a little high. It's also this one's a little fast. So sing along, see how it feels. I've just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place where we just met. He's just the boy for me, I want all the world to see we've met. Now I can sing that because that's not out of my range, but for square dancing it just didn't feel comfortable. I can sing it down an octave. Yes, I am falling, and he keeps calling me back again. It's a little low. Falling, yes, I am falling. And that's way too high because I don't want to sing that for square dancing because it's not legible. So do you go up or down? This is the processes I go through. I love the song. It's almost there. I think with a little bit of tweaking I can get it accessible to me. So I try both ways. So I'll try up. What's the up key? I don't use the shortcuts. Oh, for fast. For goodness sake. So this is up, and we know it's too high on the fall and I keep falling, but how is it? La 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 la. It's still a little low. Falling, yes I am falling. So it's still a little low. Well, let me go up another one and see if up works. Falling, yes I am falling. So that's actually good on the bottom, but in this song, that means it's I've just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place. That's too high. I mean, I'm not going to sustain that all night, and it's not comfortable, and the dancers, you're not going to be happy if you put yourself in the dancers. So let's try going down. So F, E. Oh, that's tempo. Down, fast, slow, O, D. So here's original, again. And we know that's a weird one. And I want all the world to see we've met. So I'm So this is the high part, so I got to make sure that the low part's okay. La, la, la. Falling, yes I am falling. And so now that's getting lower, but the upper is still iffy. And what I landed on was down 2. And it kind of bridged the gap for me. So I can do this part. I've just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place where we just met. He's just the boy for me. I want all the world to see we've met. And that's comfortable for me. You know, I can assign that. And now we're getting to the high part, so I don't think it's going to be too high. Falling, yes I am falling, and he keeps calling me back again. So that's reachable because the only high note is that falling. If I'm having a bad day, I can talk it and not, you know, kill it. But that's kind of my process, was figuring out, and I run the gamut from really low to really high. Another one that I like to do is anybody doing Down in the Valley, which is ego? It's got a lot of parts to it. Oh, little lady's gonna chain the ring, you're gonna turn her with an arm around. But there's 2 keychains. So if I start up here, you gotta listen to the song all the way through to the end before you decide to do it, because it goes up. And so now from there, I'm gonna go to here, and then I'm gonna go to here, and by the end of the song, it's gonna sound really horrible. You just gotta really, you know, play around with where it fits for you. One thing that you can do to just see how a song fits for you, and it's not always helpful, but listen to the called side, because depending upon the caller, because the caller theoretically should sing the melody line in the same key as the song is. And if you're unsure, you can always go up and down with that until you can sing along with the caller, and maybe you can find something that fits.
What Patty's also experiencing and is the fact that when I was listening to that piece of music, you find that the melody is played by one instrument at a time. Does everybody understand what when we talk about a melody being played? It's an instrument that is playing the actual song. And so, for example, I'll give you this working example. There's a guitar playing the melody here. Hear that? Now, that is what everybody tunes into when we pick up a piece of music. That, I found personally, depending upon what instrument is playing, will force me up higher than I'm comfortable with. But then the rest of the song might be very comfortable. Why is it? Why is it that sometimes in the beginning of a song it feels good, but in the middle it's wild, it's weird? It's usually because of the lead instrument. And a lot of the producers today, and Scott Bennett is back there, and he's a good example of somebody who does this. He puts out music on his releases. It has a lead, and it says a lead and without lead. Now, yeah, I've got one here. So that was Let the Good Times Roll with lead, and this would be without lead now. What's missing? There's nothing to tell me where to go. There's no melody. So I then, if I were struggling with a piece of music that was forcing me up or forcing me down, there was a recent release, I can't remember what it was, that came out, and I was telling Sean about this. It's like I'm way up here and way down over here, and it took me about an hour of playing with it to finally figure out. I kept messing with the keys up and down, that it was the lead instrument that was driving me too high. It was driving me out of my comfort zone. So lo and behold, the producer had sent also no leads. So that means without the lead instrument for every singing call becomes you, the caller. And believe it or not, you, the caller, is supposed to be the lead instrument every piece of music. So without anything in here, I can tell you what the lead is here. Come on, baby, let the good times roll. Come on, baby, let me thrill your soul. I don't have anything to tell me where to go. I have to rely upon talent. Talent. That's what you all rely on. When you work with a live band, how many of you folks have ever worked with a live band? A good band will follow you, which means if you stand there waiting for them to play that same note that you're familiar with in the singing call that you have on your record at home, that's not going to happen. They're going to keep playing chords until you start singing. And it's up to you to know what that tune is. That, if you can master that, then you can master anything that's on here, any of your songs. And then if you run into a problem, for example, right there, where the lead is driving you up, look to see if it's available without lead instrument in it. If not, go back to the producer and ask him if they can give you something without the lead instrument, and then try it. In that particular instance, the song we were talking about, I got it without the lead. I learned it. I found my place. I put the song with the lead back on there, and I completely ignored the lead. I completely ignored that keyboard that was going, completely ignored it. I could hear right inside here exactly where I needed to be.
Does anybody have any particular questions or about how to kind of make adjustments or figure things out? Or do any of you have a song that you're struggling with that maybe Buddy or I might have that we could do an example of helping you find where something good or bad is?
Michael Fetting with Andrew Twirlers. It was my understanding that any time I got a song that had a song with the leads, that professionally I probably should sing with the lead. Buddy, would you ever sing at a call without the lead, or would you prefer to always maybe practice and then, like you said, go back in and have the lead?
I sing ahead of the lead. I do all my singing calls at live dances ahead, because for one thing, all of our recorded music we have here, the lead, for the 99% of the music that comes out on Square Dance labels, the lead is playing at the beginning of the stanza, beat number 1. And so I don't want to be calling on that. I want the dancer stepping on that first beat. So I will sing ahead of the lead. And that way I feel like, okay, music, catch up. You're going to follow me. The dancers will key off of me.
Well, I guess what I meant was, would you ever have a song and not have that lead instrument in there? Or would you prefer that the lead instrument always be at it? I understand not singing with the lead, but I mean, when you're doing the song, would you prefer to always have the lead in there?
Sure. That's a matter of personal taste. For me, I'm not a big fan of a strong lead. Just because I want to be the strong lead, but I know a lot of folks really like that strong lead in there. And we've got a lot of music producers out here who produce some fantastic music. And some of them are consistently producing music that has just chords, which means there are no leads, where you really are forced to know the song. And I like that. I think if you were asking me for personal advice, I would say yes to everything. Pick up that song that has no lead and learn how to be the lead, and pick up the song that has a strong lead.
I think that if you're unfamiliar with a song and you don't know the original song, you don't know the melody line, the lead is helpful. Because if you forget where you are, I mean, I've got music like that I learned. The only way I learned it is because the lead was playing, and I'm pretty good at hearing what the melody line is. So if you're not comfortable with a song, or you need help remembering the melody or matching the melody, then a lead that's a good tool for you to have for you to be able to do the song. There are also ones, I kind of like songs that don't have leads, and I'll pick them sometimes out of the batch that I'll get once I know the song and I want to really make it my own. Because maybe I don't want to sing the exact melody of the song, but because of how high or how low, or just my druthers, like I've that scene of face, I love to slur some of the notes, and I'm not crisp on this note, this note. But there's other songs that I just want to do my own melody. I might have learned it differently. I might hear it in my head differently. I might just want to make it my own, so doesn't sound like everybody else. And though that type of stuff is hard to do if there's a really strong melody line going through, unless you're singing harmony. And you want to harmonize all, so the melody line becomes my duet partner. But it really is personal preference as to how, but the key for me is how well do I know the actual melody line of the actual song. Sometimes I need help.
Let's do a little exercise, 7th inning stretch, shall we? We're going to have you learn how to sing a little bit higher. Stand up, because I found that it is impossible to sing in a seated position. If you were in my hoedown session earlier, yesterday, then you know that you're pushing everything from here up, correct? So if you're sitting, slouching over, you can't get the voice to come out. You need to stand up straight. You need to suck in your dining room and tuck in your sitting room and be prepared to sing loud. So this is Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I want you to sing this just as the way you normally would. I don't want you to change anything. I just want you to sing along. 2, 3, 4, and... Now let's try a little test here. What if you were, instead of to sing it that way, what if you were to almost caress it, whisper it, instead of somewhere over the rainbow? What if it became somewhere over the rainbow, like a lullaby? You're going to sing your little baby to sleep. You're just going to sing gently. You're going to sing in a very false voice. You're going to still push from here. Don't make no mistake about it. You're still pushing your voice from down here, but and cut the notes short. Somewhere over the rainbow. Try that. Somewhere over the rainbow. Now let's do it with music. All right? We're going to do it with music. Go ahead. Just soft and quiet, and see how high you hear yourself going. Ready? Somewhere over the rainbow. A little quieter. Way up high. There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow. Let your voice come a little bit higher, up high. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then, oh, why can't I? So, you hear it? Could you hear a difference in your own voice? Could you hear a tone that maybe you hadn't heard before? Maybe you heard that tone, the last time you heard the tone was when you were singing your baby to sleep, when she had a bad night, and you're trying to quiet her down. That is a new way to approach your square dance vocals, is to soften your voice just a bit. Now, shall we hit this same song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and you can sing it in a full voice, but let's go ahead and lower the key just a bit, okay? Sing the same thing. You can sing it whispering it. You can sing it full voice. 3, 4. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, somewhere over the rainbow. A little bit higher. You can come up really high now. Ready? Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? If you sing soft like that, and you bring it down into the pitch, some of you are feeling a little bit, ooh. I got a chill listening to some of you folks sing. You have some very nice voices. You'll find a new sweet spot that you probably have never heard before in your own voice. And if you practice this is not something you're going to take out in front of your dancers tonight. If you're going home to your club tonight, you're not going to whip this thing out and say, I'm going to try it. I'll show you how it's done. You practice it and take it out to your dancers and let them just watch them. Just watch them, okay? One more little thing here, and then I'll let you sit. And I hate to repeat, but we did this in a patter session. But since we're talking about vocals, one thing that I'm a big fan of is standing up. If you have to sit at a dance, sit on a high stool. It's better to push the air out. You're squeezing, you're tucking in, you're sucking in your dining room. And somebody had asked me before, what's the best technique you can show me, Mr. Weaver, on how to be a better singer? I said, go to the gym. Go to the gym and work those abs. When I was in the gym 4 or 5 times a week, man, I looked good in the mirror, and I could sing really good. Everything was tight, and it pushed up easy. When you're slouched over and your dining room is hanging out there a little bit, and you're letting your dining room hang out there a little bit, it's harder to get that voice to come from the right spot. And if you can't get it to come from the right spot, you can't tune it. It's always going to be harder, impossible to tune. So now, as I was showing folks earlier, if you're tightening up here, little trick that I use, that right hand, you were in my session. So what is it? Take that right hand, right on your stomach, right on the high side of your stomach, and taking those middle fingers and pushing in. Push in and push back with your stomach. You need to feel that resistance. And that's where you want to be singing from. That's how you want. Somewhere over the rainbow. Somewhere. If I push in and I don't tighten up. Try. Push in and try to sing it. Go ahead. Now, tighten that up. Push back against your fingers. And now hit it. You'll hear a different kind of voice coming from your mouth. Tighten this up. And I do this. There's a funny story because at the end of a weekend, and I'm a little bit tired, a little bit run down, and I'm a little bit lazy on the vocals, and I get up there, I can hear my voice starting to crack. Like, oh, that's not good. You got to be lubricating your voice with a lot of air. And I started doing this. I started putting my hand on, and I'm calling the tip, and I'm just putting my hand over here. I'm pushing in just as hard as I can while I'm calling, and I'm singing it. I think I'm hitting the notes perfect. And I finished his tip, and this young lady walked up to me. She says, "Buddy, are you feeling okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fantastic." "Why?" She says, "Well, you're holding your stomach the entire dance." I said, "Oh, well, there's a story behind that. But that's the little trick. And sometimes it's just the littlest tricks. Take a seat, kids. We appreciate that. And I wanted to say, we got a couple minutes? If we have any other questions, I wanted to say one more thing on the singing thing, and then I'm going to be leaving this alone completely. Some of you folks know I write a music review, and I talk about word meter. Does everybody understand what word meter is? Word meter? It's how you sing the song, a singing call, that makes it sound like the original song. So if the original song is, oh, that's not the tune. Name that tune. Okay, so what's the name of this tune? You'll recognize it. The green, green grass of home, sing. And there's that old oak tree that I used to play on. And we all know, down the lane I look, and there runs Mary, hair gold and lips like cherry. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home. Oh, well, the head's promenade, go halfway round. Come in and then you square through, 4 hands round. It's all a way and then a right and left through, you turn now. And I am singing it just the same way. That old oak tree, here comes Mary down the lane. And I'm hitting every call in the exact same manner that the original song is sung. If I were to do something different, which unfortunately we hear a bit too much of, green grass of home. Okay, head couple, promenade, halfway, oh yeah. Come in, square through 4, oh yeah. All the way around, hey, right and left through. And when you're ready,
do-si-do.
No, don't do-si-do now. Wait, not do-si-do, yeah. Pass through. Oh, trade by. Wait, your turn to sing. Wait, I'm still calling. Trade by now. Oh, pass through. Yeah, touch a quarter. Scoot back. Okay. Now sing it. Okay. And the good to touch the green. Yeah, the good to touch the green, green. Murder.
Now, however, that being said, there are some songs that you may, if you're not comfortable singing and the only thing you can do is a tagline, there's nothing wrong with that, but don't, butcher the singing call figure. So you don't always have to sing melodically the singing call figure. I mean, I sing all the time, and there are some songs that I don't sing the figure because it just doesn't feel necessary. So you can talk it, but kind of talk it at least in the rhythm, and so you're not completely butchering the song, and so that it sounds like it goes along and you're doing it deliberately.
So you can talk. You could sing it in a harmonic. Heads promenade halfway. There's a four walls around me. Square through four. I know you want me to do a right and left through.
I want to do bad things.
And veer left, Ferris wheel.
But that is, I mean, you're not going to want to do that all night.
No,
but if you're struggling with
singing, can't do it all night
singing,
with a straight face.
Yeah, but if you're struggling with singing, that's a way you can add singing calls into your repertoire comfortably by doing something that's a little bit different. Not the scrambled, square through four, but if you think about it, and find a singing call figure that fits what you're trying to do, because some singing call figures don't lend themselves to singing. Some flow really well, but some don't. And maybe you're trying to do something a little different because you just taught spin the widget, but it's not going to meter right. Well, they can still dance it, you just kind of talk it.
True, but and remember too that when you are doing proper word meter, when you hear the song being sung, I think it was what does the song start with? The old hometown looks the same, right? So that's how the old hometown looks the same. Side space grand square, and when you're ready, the old hometown looks the same. Step down off the train, there to greet me with my mom and my papa. Notice the original song did not start with the words, and when you're home and when you're ready. And how many times do we hear that? And when you're home and when you're ready. Well, they're ready. I work with some callers, and we're up there calling along, and the other guy will be up there, and I got them home, and they've got a couple of extra beats to be at home and relax. And he'll walk up and say, and when you're home and when you're ready. And I stand at the back of the stage, and I said, they're home and they're ready. Start calling. The dancers are out there ready to go. And to make this thing sound like a true song, a true singing call, you need to have proper word meter. You do have to have proper word meter. Otherwise, it's just hoedown. It's just a patter call followed by another patter call, followed by another patter call. And any questions from the gallery? On the microphone, please.
Mike Salerno from Topeka, Kansas. I've used the other one. I can't remember. What do you use, guy? What program are you guys using? I use the other one. No. SQMP3. Anyway, I find that sometimes when I go up or down, I lose the color of the song. Is that just a SQMP3 thing, or do you find that also?
No, I think that's in general with the limitations of the software that we're using to pitch up and down. We're not in a $10,000 studio where they can move things and things sound pristine. You're going to find that there's going to be some music, just like us women find, that you just can't do because it doesn't sound good. You have to decide where that breaking point is. For me, it's anything 3 or below. I need to make a judgment call. If it's a special song that's for a special theme night, I'll let it slip through because it's not going to be in my regular rotation. And it's especially true if you have background vocals, because when you speed up the pitch, the background singers sing. Let me find something with background vocals on it. Oh, here's Mockingbird, and this is the version that has the So that's Jerry singing, and maybe that's a bad key for me, and I want to sing with whoever's there.
Everybody, have you heard? I'm gonna buy her a mockingbird, and if that mockingbird
Scott, is that you on there?
Diamond and ring won't shine.
Here's going down.
She'll surely break this heart of mine. And that is why we keep telling everybody, sing it, whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's down. Well, now that's down 4 clicks. So I need to make a judgment call. If that's comfortable for me, am I okay with whoever that is sounding? For me, it's not worth it. So I'll do the version that has no background vocals. But it's not unique to that program. I think it's in general. There's a threshold. Now I know some callers that'll go down 4 or 5 clicks, and they are completely happy with how the music sounds. For me, it's not worth it unless it's a really awesome song.
That is on it's on the Classics website right now, the Classic Square Dance website. It was originally on the hi-hat. It's on my Classics website. Classic Square Dance music. You'll find all your Square Dance needs can be met at buddyweaver.com.
Not all of them, because I went there looking for my Square Dance needs, and you let me down. Oh, snap.
It was Round Dance Day.
Oh, it was Round Dance. Go ahead.
Jeff Palmer, Colorado Springs. While you're toying with the pitch up and down to try to get the song to fit you, have you ever, or do you recommend maybe recording it while you're singing it so you can see maybe without you hearing it yourself, you actually hear what comes across other than your head voice, I guess, and see if that maybe sounds maybe a little bit different?
I think that's always a good idea because we hear ourselves, I can't listen to I think a recorded copy of myself sounds horrible.
You record.
Yeah, I know. Go figure. When I did my senior recital, it took me 2 years to listen to my senior recital tape, and theoretically I was in the best physical shape because it sounds differently. So what I hear is completely different. That being said, it's very helpful if you're struggling to figure out where you should be to record yourself and listen to it and maybe have somebody you trust listen, because what I'm hearing me is completely different than what all of you are hearing, just as a general mechanical rule. But that's a very helpful way if you kind of can't figure it out, because I think if you listen to yourself, you can kind of tell when you're straining. So.
Flip the switch all the way up.
Andy Himmelgarsen from Ottawa. I had this one singing call that I just fell in love with. Okay, when I got it down and I started practicing it, I was all over the place. It seemed like the music was just taking me high, it was taking me low, and I was going nuts with it. So I put it away. I came back to it about a month later, and I started playing with the pitch and the tempo and whatnot. And I finally found that one spot in the opener in the first figure. I found it until I went into the second figure, and I was totally lost again. So I put it away. I brought it back out. I do this with the things I don't keep bringing back. Then all of a sudden I'm playing with this thing, and I said, it's the pitch. It's the pitch in this thing that keeps throwing me away. And like the lead was just throwing me right off. So I took that MP3, I threw it into my music program called Reaper, and I went to each section. I brought the pitch down and set my pitch in that way. And that singing called What Now? Now I do it all the time. Otherwise, it took me 4 months to get to that point, but that's what I did. And that's something that I've discovered since I started recording, that with these recording programs, I can change my music a lot better to suit what I'm going to do. It takes me longer, but I find I can take certain parts of the song to make it fit me and not ruin the rest of the song.
Scott Bennett, Oklahoma. Buddy, you mentioned faking a note. And if you had to fake a high note or fake a low note, which one would you recommend to fake?
Yes. I'd fake them. I'd fake them both if at the risk of rather than risk hurting myself, or in that very rare instance, my not sounding good, I would. Would you go ahead and elaborate more on your now? See, Scott Bennett back there is a talented vocalist. How many of you folks have listened to his stuff on Crest and Acme? Phenomenal vocalist. He is probably in the top. He's probably the 1% of callers who can hit those notes, and hit it purely and crisply. I wish I could sing like Scott Bennett. If I could sing like Scott Bennett, by gosh, the world would be my oyster. I wouldn't have to fake it. But yes, it's true. I do have to fake those high notes. And on a serious answer, I'd probably fake a high note. And in some cases, there was an old song. I remember back in the old days of records, we had a thing called El Paso on KLOX. Remember that? And in the West Texas town of El Paso. And it always finished with that very high note, swinging promenade. And I started calling when I was a young guy, and I could not sing at all. And I remember struggling with that. And I remember our club caller used it. And he was not a singer. He could hit the notes. And what he would do is he would swing in promenade, and he'd turn the volume on the music up. And it would hit a note on the vibes. And that became the replacement for the vocal note. That was where I first learned about faking the notes, was in that case, not even hitting the note. Fading off my voice, swing and promenade, and then let the music carry it. And I'll still do that. And everybody, by the way, should have something in their wheelhouse for those nights when you just can't pull your voice together. You should have those songs, those go-to songs where you can fake your way through it.
I have a whole playlist. It's called Low, and one called Sick. Yeah. No, because there's songs that, These Boots Are Made for Walking, Long Black Train. Either they're really low, because when I'm sick I sing really low, or the ones that I can talk through, I don't necessarily have to sing. And that's a very, very valid point. You need to have some of that, because how many of you call when you're sick? Yeah, well, I called a dance with laryngitis, really bad laryngitis once, and it was a club dance, special dance, and I didn't want to give it up. It was my club, and I didn't do any of the music that I should have, and when I got done with that dance, I thought I had popped a vocal cord, because I was, it was just one of those things. And since then, if I'm sick, it doesn't matter what the theme is, I pull out that sick playlist, and I'm doing those singing calls, no matter what.
You can use, kind of in a similar vein, I have the songs that I know are my go-to songs when I'm sick. And when I'm not sick, I use them for hoedowns, just because I love to repurpose a piece of music. So, and this is a good example. I love the music. It's got a strong lead on it. You recognize the tune? We can hash it.
Melancholy Baby.
Yeah. You walk around the corner, lady. Seesaw around your bone. Join hand and circle to the left. The harmonic note. I'm having a sick night. This for 30 years has been my go-to song for a sick night. So, circle, come to me, my melancholy baby. Smile a while and don't be blue. And I can just kind of growl my way through this song. And all I have to do is hit a note every now and then.
And if your dancers know the song, the other thing to put in that list are songs that they will sing. Because I've got some songs that I could just shut off my microphone and they'll sing the whole thing. All I have to do is no, I'm serious. Like, take me out to the ball game. They'll sing that one till the cows come home. So if your dancers know Melancholy Baby, you could do it as a singing call if they're singing they use them, let them help you sing. There's no shame in that.
There you go. Repurpose your music. Any other questions from the gallery? We thank you for your time. A nice hand for Patty Greene.
Buddy Weaver, thanks for coming.